It's as cold as a fisherman's bum down here nowadays. You don't remember the old Stafford Road, do you? That building represents us, Alistair. It's modern, clean, efficient, and has precisely no relationship to the buildings in the area around it.
Well, it smells like a police station.
It smells like a pox doctor's waiting room. They pump the smell in through the air conditioning. Kills the Legionnaire's disease. Oh, I see things haven't improved. You're still here, Jeff.
I thought things improved when you left, Frank.
Well, it did for me. Do you know DS Greg?
Yeah, you're with me.
Yeah.
Good. Well, I'll catch you later.
Yeah, right.
What are you doing here?
Just been made sergeant.
Yeah? I didn't know you'd had the operation. No, I'm only kidding. Congratulations. See you later. That bloke never knows whether it's Shrove Tuesday or half past breakfast time. Joke. All the good officers are gone. That's why they brought in that pair of foot and mouth.
Here we go.
Ever since I was a young boy, I played the silver ball. From Soho down to Brighton, I must have played them all, but I ain't seen nothing like it in any of... Come on, you scumbag. Come on.
Providing we undertake to promote an intentional structure of managerial coordination between, say, ourselves and Sunhill. I'm sure I needn't explain to you the importance of this within a structure of proactive policing. We all understand what that means. Frank?
Oh, yes.
And these regular meetings for officers of various ranks will hopefully help to create a system of communication and liaison. Cascading of information down to lower ranks should be a natural consequence of this regular interfacing, with obviously beneficial results.
How you doing?
Fine. Yeah, fine.
You the driver of the vehicle, sir?
Yeah, unfortunately it's broken down.
Would you like to move it for us, sir?
Why, is there a problem?
I don't think so, sir. If you'd just like to move the vehicle, it's causing an obstruction.
It's broken down.
Well, let's see if you can give it a push then. Put the keys in the ignition, will you, sir?
What for?
You'll find it helps to release the steering lock, sir. Jump in then. Can I see your driving licence, please, sir?
You must be joking. Look, I'm in the job.
Do you have your driving licence, sir?
Are you trying to wind me up?
You haven't been drinking, have you?
I've had one.
You wouldn't mind taking a breathalyser, then?
Are you asking me to take a breathalyser?
That wouldn't be a problem, would it?
I know what this is. Look, I ain't going to take no breath test. I wasn't even driving.
I require you to take a breath test, sir. Sir! I'd like you to blow into this device, please.
No.
You refusing?
No, I'm just thinking about it.
I don't need to remind you, sir, that failure to take a breath test is an offence.
Sorry. All right.
Now, I'm going to ask you one more time, sir. Take 3 deep breaths. And blow into the machine.
I think, though, that modern middle management courses address themselves to teaching the skills necessary to facilitate feedback. Well, I'd suggest that more time be made available for certainly detective inspectors and the like to attend these courses.
I agree with David. User-friendly is another term we use a lot at Stafford Road. Community policing relies on internal and external cooperation and communication.
want to see someone in charge.
Take a seat.
Okay.
What have you done you for, mate?
Don't worry, mate. You're a bunch of pigs, a lot of them.
Can't believe it. I'll have to tell Inspector Webber.
Look, couldn't we go back outside and sort this out?
There ain't no point in begging with them.
Oi, you! Shut up.
Yeah, you've got to take a lick on
All right, lad.
Shut your
This way.
mouth, all right?
Right. We're going to have to go through the procedure with you, the 116, you understand?
Look, I don't want to cause any waves, but I'm sure the officer is fully aware that technically I was not driving the car. The officer asked me to move the vehicle. I did so. But at no point was the engine on or was I seated behind the steering wheel.
What's your name, officer?
Jim Carver. I'm a DC at Sun Hill. Look, can I speak to my governor? He's here in this station, D.I. Burnside.
I know where he is.
Well, could you get him for me? Please.
I was fortunate enough to be at a lunch with the Deputy Assistant Commissioner when he spoke about this. It's not acceptable for us to drive around with bald tyres, he said. Then nick another man for having no MOT. Well, I think we've got to be honest with ourselves and admit that there are quite a few bald tyres about. But with an interchange of
DC
information,
Carver wishes to speak
and
to you.
above all,
He's downstairs in the
an
custody
avoidance
suite.
of petty rivalry,
I've got to go.
we can get
Jim's
ourselves
downstairs.
back on the road.
Where's he going?
Carver's downstairs. He may have a lead on the gang, I don't know.
Excuse me, sir. Something's come up.
Well, it's nice of you to come, Frank.
Frank's close to arresting a heroin gang.
I see. Single-handedly, no doubt.
You've informed the Chief Superintendent. Why do you want to tell me all this?
You're the
Don't
duty
worry,
inspector,
mate.
sir. I
You're
thought you
doing
should
us a
know.
burglary,
All right.
but
So
I ain't
why
got no
wasn't it all
proof.
sorted out on the street?
Yeah,
That's what I
bet
said.
it is stuff in his back garden.
Who's the arresting officer?
Horden.
Yeah, well, that explains everything. You send Horden to see me.
Right, it's by the book, I'm afraid. Detention room. Leave the door open. Okay, you two. Jim,
I want to see my governor.
carry on.
What is this?
He's failed the breath test.
What?
He's been arrested.
Carver?
I'm sorry.
He's failed a breath test. What an idiot.
We're waiting to give him a blow on the big one.
Is it on paper yet?
I've got these two to do.
Cheers, Steve. Look, there's any possibility I can have a word with him.
He's in custody, you understand. But yes, you may speak with him.
You're a Trojan.
Okay, you two inside.
Jim, what's going on?
I was just doing my job, Gov.
Are they having a go at us or what?
I broke down on the way to the bird's nest. On the way back, I stopped at the car to pick something up. Some bonehead pulls up and starts putting the bite on me. I move the car 10 feet, not even that, and he starts giving me this cock and bull story about a breath test.
It's absurd. What, you never drove the car?
No, I was steering it, that's all.
You did inform the station when you broke down.
Well, I was going to, but I had to be in the pub.
You were supposed to do that, you idiot.
I shouldn't have to take a breath test.
You shouldn't have been drinking on duty, strictly.
Oh, great. In the bird's nest, I would have stuck out like a white zit drinking Britvic 55.
Well, you didn't have to get out of your mind.
I'm not out my mind. I had one pint. Look, I knew there was no chance of driving anywhere. That I was working for us.
Oh, I was out of my brain for Sun Hill. That's going to sound good.
Right, thank you.
Yeah, did you get any information?
No, nothing urgent.
What do you mean, nothing urgent?
Well, nothing as urgent as this. I was not out my brain. What are we going to do, Gov?
You should never have let yourself get as far as a breath test.
Look, failure to give the breath test is an offence.
Listen, if this goes the whole hog, you better get ready to face the hangman, Jim. This is a sacking lot.
Jeff,
Yeah.
Howard.
Yeah, I know what you heard about, Frank.
Yeah, I bet you do. So what are we going to do about it? Look, the boy's been a prat. He's got himself into a silly situation. And quite frankly, I'm surprised at him. You got time?
I've got a moment.
Listen, I've known this kid since he was a sprog, and I'm quite sure he had no intention of driving a vehicle. But nevertheless, Smoke.
No, I don't.
So, how do you see this, Jeff?
It's a very difficult situation, Frank.
Do you remember when you first joined and we had that game against South Wales?
Times have changed, Frank.
I remember you were lucky not to get your neck broken.
So you always tell me.
Look, what I'm saying is this. The good thing up to this point is that nothing about this breath test is on paper yet. You can make a decision.
Have you met P.C. Horton, Frank?
I'd like to.
Well, I had him in here just before you arrived. He's a man of high principles. Very religious man, our P.C. Horton, Frank.
Oh dear, one of those. Wants to turn Stafford Row into the next station of the cross, does he?
And he's going to make sure this gets down on paper.
So how do we stop him?
While providing he's carried out his duty correctly, there is nothing I can do to prevent him.
Well, you could advise him.
I have.
You don't have to accept the evidence.
I haven't seen the evidence yet, Frank.
I'm sorry about this, Jeff.
You don't have to apologize, Frank.
What's happening?
Well, it's nothing to do with me. But you're going through the procedure.
P.C. Horton.
Yeah?
D.I. Burnside, Sunhill. I wonder if we could have a word.
Yeah.
In private. Smoke?
It's no smoking, sir.
Oh. I was just wondering if we could sort this out. I mean, I don't know exactly what happened.
Yes, sir. I was travelling in an easterly direction along Great Latham Street when I observed a motor vehicle parked...
Yeah, well, what I actually want to know is what exactly happened between you and my DC?
Yes, sir. I suppose my suspicion was first aroused when I asked the man, unaware that he was a police officer...
Oh, so you didn't know he was a policeman? You'd never seen him before?
Sir?
You had never seen him before?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't think so, sir.
They tell me that, you're a religious man.
That's right.
There you go, Sage. Thank you. Right, empty your pockets.
One set of keys, one notebook and pen, one radio. £4.36. A packet of cigarettes, one lighter, and one warrant card.
What's your full name?
James Michael Carver.
Address?
116 Ashbourne Road, East 13.
Date of birth?
14th of February, 1962.
Have you any idea of what will happen to this officer if he's convicted? He'll be out of the job.
I know what you're saying, sir, but I pulled a milkman up yesterday for the same offence. I dare say he'll lose his job too.
You're talking about a year. I'm talking about forever. My boy's career, finished. Everything he's lived for, gone. Think about it.
That's not my fault.
Look, he told you that the car had broken down. Did you try to start the engine?
No, sir. Look, with respect, sir, I've already spoken to my inspector.
Now, listen, the car had broken down, and yet you made no attempt to find out what the problem was, to start the engine.
Speak to my inspector.
You knew this man was a policeman, and yet you still chose to disbelieve him.
I arrested him, sir. What do you expect me to do? Tear out my pocketbook?
Well, under the circumstances.
There's my pocketbook, sir. You can do away with it. But if I get asked, I shall have to say I gave it to you.
What's going on?
I was just explaining the circumstances of D.C. Carver's arrest, sir.
Frank!
There's your pocketbook, Horton.
Right, now
I'm
what?
going to do something about this.
It's too late anyway, and I don't want you coercing my officers. They're about to do your man's 116 right now.
What, it's on paper?
Yeah, and it's in ink.
What is this? Is this war? I mean, if you want it.
Oh, that is quaint, Frank.
Look, there's been a misunderstanding.
That's you all over, isn't it, Frank? You want something done and you don't care how. Well, I prefer to stick by the book.
Yeah, that's you all over. Hold the jackets.
You know your trouble, Frank. You've always seen life through a mirror. Ronnie and Reggie, they're behind bars, and all those Fred Flintstone policing days, they're over. It's no longer good enough for the ends to justify the means.
Look, don't try and get smart with me.
You're a dinosaur, Frank.
Oh, yeah. I still eat insects like you, Webber.
Right. Energy 116.
Okay, Tracy.
You know your two lads up for burglary? The black one's got the gear buried in his garden.
Well, where did you get that?
Well, many years of devotion to public duty. I used to be a policeman, you know. Can I have a pee?
You should have had one in the detention room.
It's nerves. It's a touch of the scoots.
All right, but we can't delay this much longer. Escort him to the cells for a Jimmy. Don't do a runner, will you?
Steve?
Nothing's happened yet.
Look, we've got to do something to delay this.
You're joking. We've done enough already. Look, if I don't watch her, I'll be the subject of an official complaint.
Look, mate, this boy's career's at risk.
Horden has already done your boy for drunken charge. He's just as likely to do me for perverting the course of justice.
I'll remember this.
Don't get upset.
Look, don't tell me what to do, pal. Some toe rag's trying to stitch up one of mine, and you're telling me not to get upset.
I'm the custody sergeant here. I'm in charge. I'm telling you to keep it quiet or leave.
Charles? I'm terribly sorry about your lad.
What do you mean?
I presume Frank Burnside had informed you.
No?
Oh, I'm sorry, Charles. How awkward. One of your DCs failed a breath test. They brought him in here shortly after midday.
I didn't know.
Don't worry about it.
Everyone keeps telling me not to worry about it, which is pretty pointless, really.
No, I think it's unlikely the DPP will prosecute. It's not in the public interest.
That's not true.
Well, anyway, I'll be suspended.
Look, I don't know if you know this, but if they try and convict, there's grounds for what's known as a special reason. You could try and demonstrate in court you had no intention of driving, that you were asked to move the vehicle by a police officer. I mean, even if they allege you drove the car, which you didn't.
Well, I'm glad someone believes me. Anyway, I'm hoping it's not going to come to that.
Look, Horden's a new guy. He's just arrived. He's a seagull. You know, flies in, dumps on everyone, leaves. He's after promotion. Come on, let's get this done, then you can have a cup of tea.
Look, I'm just washing my face, right? I'm sweating.
Listen, do us a favour, mate. Can you smell alcohol in my breath?
No. You'll breeze it.
Look, according to Pace, the evidence was clear. He had the keys of the vehicle in his possession. He was in the car. The fact that he wasn't driving the car when he was stopped is immaterial. Don't you agree?
Yeah, but he had no intention of driving. The car had broken down.
Well, that remains to be seen. I'm having one of my officers check that out.
One of your officers?
Is that a problem? Look, Frank, the trust of my officers is not at issue here. Now, let's look at this sensibly. We're a service industry. We have to keep the customer satisfied. We have to be just and prompt, polite and fair. Not plastered, Frank.
Yeah, I can square that. He was doing a job for me.
Do you know, there was a very interesting article in the Police Review recently on the Commissioners Plus programmes. You do get the Police Review?
Oh, there's usually one in the station.
Well, what it implied was that police officers who persist in bringing the force into disrepute are a constant cost to our image. Like a bad debt, Frank. It should be written off.
Oh, yeah. Well, we can't all look like something that's stepped out of a Littlewoods catalogue. We're not all mannequins of perfection. Carver is a good detective. He deserves better than this.
No officer is above the law, Frank.
I know Jim Carver. He's as straight as they come. If my mum has been mugged, I'd rather he turn up at my door than some precious little...
Frank?
I was just coming to see you, sir.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
We were just finishing, sir.
Why the hell wasn't I informed? I thought Stafford Row had, sir. I thought that was the procedure.
I have
just come out of a meeting about communication and cooperation. You made me look a right prat.
Yeah, well, I know the feeling, sir. I think there has been a deliberate lack of cooperation on their behalf, sir.
All right. Which one of you fools failed the breath test? Roach, I suppose.
No, sir. Jim Carver.
Carver?
Look, sir, can you have a word with this duty inspector?
I thought you'd already done that. You should have come to me in the first place.
I realise that, sir, but if you
Look,
could just...
it hits me just as hard as it does you. It's every officer's nightmare being breathalyzed.
What about their chief inspector, sir?
This is not an internal disciplinary matter, Frank. Carver has broken the law of the land. He was found in charge of a motor vehicle while under the influence of alcohol.
Ah, but he had no intention of driving, sir.
Well, he can tell that to the court, can't he?
Frank, it's the way you run your department.
I want to talk to him.
I don't want him in here.
Why not?
Because he's a prisoner, like other prisoners, friends and colleagues are not invited.
You can't delay it any longer, Frank.
What is this, a stitch-up job?
Go on, Frank.
You want to have a pop at me? Why don't you do it face to face?
Or fist to fist? Yeah, I've heard many stories of that in the past.
You're not man enough.
I love you, Frank. Don't ever change.
Look! You've had your fun. Now let my boy go.
I've told you.
Up yours, Webber.
Good luck, mate. You're on your own.
What happened? Jim! What happened? Jim! What are you doing?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to throw it at you.
You could take someone's head off.
Hey! What happened here?
I tripped over one of your bollards. You want to get those bollards sorted out?
Is it cracked?
Where's my car?
We couldn't start it, it was out of petrol. You were right. Sorry about that.
Oh, yeah. You will be. Did they let you off?
They didn't let me off. I hadn't done anything wrong. I was under the limit.
Well done, Jim.
Come here, you cretin!
Jim!
All right, Jim, all right. It's not worth it.
All right, Gov.
It's nobody's fault, okay? Where are we going, Gov?
To celebrate. We're going to have a drink.
No, Gov.
No, Gov.
Suit yourselves.